Good afternoon.
Questions for Wes?
What's this week been like, kind of deciding which quarterback to go with and bring Justin Jefferson back?
A couple things there. Excited to get JJ back for sure. He looks great, and I know he's been itching to go, and just waiting to get the all clear. So excited to get a player like him, teammate like him, captain, back on the field for sure. But there were some discussions over the break. I know Kevin talked to you guys. He's going to announce tomorrow, but there were discussions about really the whole offense in general, kind of where we're at, what's kind of been good for us, not so good, and really try to play to our guys' strengths as we go forward, and whether that be the quarterback position or really any other position or scheme-wise as well. So trying to really lock in on some things that we've done well and had some success with, and that we can build on going forward.
With the bye week so late, do you just kind of hone in on what things have been since Kirk suffered the injury and how the team has moved forward since then?
Yeah, I've never really been a part of a bye this late before, so it was kind of new for me. But it is kind of nice in that you have a lot of inventory to look at, as opposed to getting like a week 5 bye where you could really almost do a mini self-scout like you do at the end of the year and kind of figure out where we're at, what are we getting to, what kind of plays, personnels, all the different things that we're doing, and how can we kind of maximize what our guys have done well while also, scheming against the defense that we're playing. So it was a good, I liked having the late bye. I don't know if all the players would agree necessarily. I'm sure some of them will complain no matter when the bye is, but I thought it was good for us as far as just kind of an inventory over this many games with this much inventory. You can really kind of see where you're at and kind of where we've gone as an offense. Every year it kind of evolves a little differently.
To do anything differently with a quarterback like Josh, who you acquired mid-season and didn't have any time with before in between games? Does it do anything in that front?
Yeah, I think it gave us time to look at what he's done here more closely and take a breath from, game planning for the next team and, and starting to look at, okay, what did he have success with? What are some things that we could help him with and work on throughout, yesterday's practice and going forward this week that we know, just him getting accustomed to our offense and our system. He's got more time, but we can kind of put a couple of those things together where we're hopefully getting to some things that are going to be good for him and vice versa.
It must have been, I don't know, jarring to see what the offense looked like in the beginning of the year, just personnel-wise, when you see Kirk Cousins and Jefferson and Cam Akers and whoever else that are no longer around. Did it all settle in for you, like how much personnel trauma you guys have kind of experienced here? I mean, when you're in the moment of it, it probably doesn't feel that way, but when you step back, maybe it settles in a little bit.
Yeah, when you see the different players on the field, you certainly look back and notice it. But, this is really, it's just all we know is to kind of move forward. This game, you hope that Justin Jefferson and your quarterback aren't the guys that are, getting dinged up throughout the year, but you just kind of have to roll with the punches. And, this is a physical sport, so you're going to lose guys, and every team across the league is dealing with it in some form or fashion. It's just it's been unfortunate that it's been some of our best players that have missed time or are out. But really, there's nothing else you can do. You just move forward. It really is next man up. Every guy in that locker room who's not one of those guys that's out still expects to win, still expects to go out and be competitive, and we expect that too as coaches. So just try to put together the best plans we can for who we have.
That said, what's sort of your schematic vision for what this offense can look like or should look like in these last month or so of the regular season?
Well, without, hey, we're going to run more of this or that. Well, I think we have identified some things that are better for the personnel that we have at the moment, and some things that maybe we want to stay away from, whether it's areas we're throwing the ball potentially, whether it's differences in the how much we do play pass, drop back, keeper game, all those types of things. There might be a more of a boost in one area and less of this over here, just to try to take advantage of the skill sets of the guys we have playing.
A bunch of guys had to step up with Justin out. Where do you think that experience will show up most on the field now that he's back?
Just guys getting opportunities and making plays in moments in games, and every rep, whatever the position, every rep is, these guys are not only getting that physical rep, but they're learning the game, learning the intricacies, learning. There's a million things that can happen with 22 moving parts on a play, and it's good to know your assignment on the page, when you're doing an install, but really just doing it in real time, having that experience is invaluable for these guys, and having the confidence that when it does come my way, I'm going to make the play, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be, all those sorts of things. So, it helps make your team better when other guys step up, and then you get some good players back.
When Justin went out, Brandon Powell kind of moved into the role he's been in. With him back, do you think you guys will find a way to keep Brandon involved offensively, or is it just too many bodies at that point? Or?
The room gets a little more crowded, but I do think Brandon Powell has earned the right to get some reps, and as have other guys. It's just it's one of those things where understanding that the type of player JJ is, other guys have to be a little less selfish. When you get a guy like that, understandably, he's going to get a share of those targets, and we want it that way. So hard to tell a receiver sometimes. You might get a few less, but I think everyone understands it. Everyone's excited JJ's back, so it'll work itself out.
Wes, what was your evaluation of pass protection, just as you look back at it the last week and a half, going from where you guys started to maybe like the 49ers game and then to all the way up till Chicago?
Yeah, I think pass protection in general has been a strength for us and has improved throughout the year. It's one of those things, it's one lapse by one guy can be the difference, where all of a sudden it's, we didn't pass protect well, or the Q got hit and we threw an interception. And it's really the critical nature of playing offensive line, and everyone's involved in it, backs and tight ends and play action pass. But when you're just talking about the offensive line, how critical it is for them. Every step, every movement is that much more magnified if you're not doing your technique, your fundamentals. Whereas a receiver can false step and you say, hey, don't false step. It could be the difference in a game-changing type play in a negative way. So, and those guys understand that, and they understand that, when there's sacks or whether it's on them or not, it's getting put on the offensive line at the end of the year. But I think it's been a strength for us. I think these guys have bought in over our time here. I think especially an offensive line group with the communication and the way they have to work together, and in protection, how they have to help each other with their sets, even if they're not, blocking this guy. They're holding space until the last second to block their guy. to hold space for the next guy. All that stuff, when it's something new or something different than what they've done, takes time, takes a lot of, probably about half the year to really start to understand, okay, this is how we want and this is what it really looks like to be kind of a team protection. Combined with the guys we have up front and the communication from Garrett across to the rest of the guys, the communication from the quarterback, even Josh coming in late in the year and having to communicate some of the third down stuff, some of the protection calls, changing the protections, and guys being on top of it. And now the ball's coming, and hey, I got to get this thing snapped. There's a lot going on up there, and I think they've handled it really well. There's going to be some snaps where we're going to coach them, and that's part of it. But we're happy with where they've been.
Along the lines of pass protection, using CJ as like kind of a third down blocking back on those third and longs, I guess where did that idea come from? Because I feel like I don't see too many fullbacks around the league doing that.
No, I don't think there's that many fullbacks that are like CJ either. CJ's really a guy that, some guys sit in the install meetings, they watch, and they just look at exactly what they have to do, and that's okay. But CJ's a guy that you could probably plug him into just about any position on the field, and he would know at least his assignment, what he's supposed to do, and he would do it right. And that goes for the protection game as well, the third downs. We just felt like we could use his skill set as being stout in protection, being really smart, things moving quickly. He processes really, really fast, and then you've seen some times where him and really some of our other backs, Alex, have stepped up just when guys are getting edged a little bit, and that's helping the offensive line again. When there's some tough matchups up there, especially when you're one-on-one. And he's stepped up and given us time or given us that second hitch to go ahead and deliver a ball. So really excited where he's at, and that we've been able to use him more and have him show up. And then you trust him to get out and catch the football and run with it after the catch as well.
Wes, not having Justin all these weeks, is there an element of like what he means to this offense that maybe you realize now that you didn't realize before?
Well, he's the best receiver in the game, in my opinion. So you lose a guy of that caliber. He really has shown up throughout his career at all levels, short, intermediate, down the field. He's a hard guy to get up and press. He's a hard guy to play off of. There's just really not a lot that he can't do out on the football field, and there were plans, I think, from defensively they're starting to figure out maybe if we do this with Jordan Addison, we can try to take away some of his juice if we get up tighter on him. Maybe if we, with other receivers, you're trying to find. It's just hard to find with JJ. He beats people in press. He beats them when they're off. He wins short. He wins down the field. It's what makes him so unique, so special.
Wes, as you're evaluating quarterbacks, how much does that change things? Just having a target that commands that much attention, how much easier can that make things for a quarterback when Justin's back out there?
Well, it makes it a lot easier. He gets open, and he's got great range to go get the ball. He's tough over the middle. He's got great transition. It makes it a lot easier for the Q. It does. Now we're back in the world of, okay, now they know Justin Jefferson's out there. How is coverage going to adjust potentially with him out there? On early downs, as well as obviously third downs, red zone, all those types of things. Now we have to be back in that mode of being more aware of how coverage can be tilted or rolled to his side. Just where his alignment is they're going to know where he's at.